Welcome to the Listening Under Show. I am Male Fascist Pig.
And I'm Reverend Muffington.
I'm Crash.
And I'm none of these people.
That's CJ Benoit of Lost Swamp Monsters, Tennessee Troubadour Rabblers, and what else are you in?
Mostly Lost Swamp Monsters, but I'm in a whole bunch of other shit.
We'll be talking.
Cowpunks, yeah.
There you go. We'll be talking to him about he's got a new album coming out. And,
Already out as of today.
There you go. So
I gotta update the website.
So we'll go ahead and we'll be talking about that. But we were supposed to have a drinking challenge tonight, but that kind of fell through due to the weather. There's a storm coming through. So we are going to sit here and we're still going to drink. We're going to hang out and we're going to say hello.
Oh, there's the camera. Yo.
All right. So who wants to go first, man? Who's got something new? Pig, you got something?
I got a lot of things to do. So in my spare time, I started hatching chicks. I don't even know how many little bastards I got now, man.
Are we talking egg
Are you
layers?
murdering?
Weird stuff?
Yes.
Are you murdering women? Or?
No.
He's hatching egg
I'm
layers.
hatching chicks.
Oh,
Baby
because
chicken.
it's just like you live out in the middle of fucking bum fucking, and I was like, oh no, he's lost it. he's out in the middle of the woods killing people with the hatchet.
No.
No.
Okay. So how many chicks have you hatched?
Okay. I think we're getting close to like 80.
80?
80?
Yeah. We've done like 4 hatches now. We've about 20 each time. I'd say it's 80, probably plus or minus 10. I don't know.
All right. Are you like for your own property? Are you like preparing for like the
this
apocalypse?
shit's about to hit the fan, guys.
Oh, okay. So you are preparing for them.
Yeah, I want to talk about Maui, man.
So
Basically a direct energy weapon hit that shit. None of the billionaires' land was even burned, man. And it's
Is
just
that the
right
video
there.
that I saw on your page?
And they had a complete blackout while it was going on there for a few days. Like, dude, this shit's about to hit the fan, man. Word on the streets, 923.
Is this the Jewish space laser?
It's like I said, direct energy weapon. I don't know what entity did it. I'm not saying it's the U.S. government. Something did that though. It was like a controlled burn on those.
But it could have been the Jewish space laser.
Well, I mean, I don't want to go out there and be like, like that. I don't want to get a swastika labeled on my face every time you see it.
Do you believe that
I'm
there's
getting
Nazis
canceled.
in the Antarctic?
Well, there was. That's what Admiral Byrd was going there. That supposedly that was the whole trip he took for a whole year, and that's all documented as you can look up.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are 3 minutes in and we've already hit Nazi talk.
Here we go. I have a
Y'all
sound
talk
person
about
knows not about talking into a mic.
You don't have to eat it. That's what I've been trying to tell you.
Oh, you're gonna eat it.
The shit I walk into.
Oh, there's other shit that's went down
The
too.
shit that I live
Fed Now's out now.
So what is Fed now?
That's basically the first step into going into a one world currency. Now the government's involved in digital currency.
in. Oh boy.
Yeah,
Are
that's about the Wild Wild West. The Bitcoin and shit's about to go away. Like BlackRock, they pretty much got 20-30% of everything on the planet they got stock on. Yeah, they're about to start investing in.
What is BlackRock?
Bitcoin.
It is.
It's pretty much a fucking Larry Fink's the CEO. Like he's already said all this stuff's been going on. It's forced behavior. They're
Is
gonna
that
keep-
related to D's?
Anyway,
Look
look at what I'm talking about. It's real.
Do you have any of these digital cash apps, or do you have digital?
Oh yeah, I
currency?
got some.
Digital
I got like
cash
$4 in Bitcoin. I'm like, yeah, just in case I need a Snickers bar the day they do it or something. I can get a
So
Coke.
just Bitcoin. You don't have like Doge or any of these other.
Oh,
ones?
yeah.
I had Doge.
I wish I would have
I had
like
Doge,
got
too.
1 billion fucking shares whenever it went to like 50 cents, and it was like you could get like 5 shares for a penny at one point. But if Bitcoin ever goes back up again, then that's the time to get
Are
in.
you gonna
They're
continue?
all connected. Although you can even look it up to where how they're connected. That's why when a bunch of them go down, a lot of them go down at the same time. They're all backed by Bitcoin themselves to an extent.
There used to be a time where you could actually mine Bitcoin. The fewer transactions there were, the easier it was to mine a Bitcoin faster. So in the earliest days, people had like 2 or 3 just sitting in a Bitcoin wallet. Now they're worth 28 grand a piece.
Well, it fluctuates. That's last I saw was 2.5.
I know, but if
I get
you
a
trade
ding.
them in,
Yeah,
you trade them in at like
yeah. You can sell it right now.
I got enough to buy a beer.
I know there was some guy that had like a whole shit ton, and he couldn't remember the
Yep,
password
that
or
happened
something.
to so many people.
You only have so many tries before it locks forever.
See, that's where it's,
Yeah.
you better keep up with that password. That's what needs to be in the lockbox at the bank.
Write it down on a,
Password to your Bitcoin.
A lot
write
of
it down
people
on a
didn't
sticky
think-
note, and then write down the location of the sticky note on another sticky note.
Nobody thought it was going to go up that high. Nobody thought that far in advance.
Yeah. Somebody made a lot of money that day.
Most of the people that got it early were like 14 through 17 years old when they got it.
Oh.
So they were like too stupid to do anything with it. They just like spent it on drugs and
Oh. So it's just gone
just gone.
to the dark.
So it goes.
I don't know. I never really thought too much about like investing in the digital currencies, and I'm not like a conspiracy theorist or anything. But I mean, I don't know, just something about it. It just seemed like it was because I mean, you've got people all the time saying a lot of. Well, all right. So what bothers me about the digital currency is these server farms. So the amount of money that goes into keeping the money doesn't make sense. It almost seems like it would implode on itself because I mean, they have acres and acres and acres of land devoted to nothing but computer servers for just the purpose of storing information and all this other stuff. And so then you think of just the cost of power, not much just the equipment themselves, but only to regulate. And it's only going to get to so much. They can only mine so many coins, but they're going to continue on a daily basis to consume so much money
Yeah.
in order to keep. It doesn't seem like
But it didn't.
It's not. It's
Sustainable.
all,
It
the
didn't
same
used to
thing
be
with
that
with
way.
electric vehicles. It doesn't make sense.
Well-
There's no reason to do it.
So what I was saying.
There's not even the grid will not withstand.
It won't. Not for this level. Like back when nobody was using it. Basically, what Bitcoin mining is you're providing your bandwidth in order to like monitor these transactions. The more that are coming through, the less there were. So when there were less coming through, you didn't have to have a big fancy rig or a bunch of electricity to mine Bitcoin. But
Yeah.
nobody,
Thank
they
you, sir.
weren't worth anything at
But
that
the
point.
more you throw into it, that's another energy box that has to be made, essentially. Another
Yeah.
energy box, another energy box. Now, one of the things, they're talking about now, the big thing is, pick you out one of these AI companies and start with their stock. Because that's what's coming too. Fucking AI shit is
All right.
here, man.
So
We already had our episodes talking about it, but we're 6 months down the road now,
No,
man.
no, well, I
And
was
we
going
come
to
up-
say
it's
exactly
it's
6
coming.
months later since we last talked about
whole
this.
new shit come out.
It is completely different. It's so scary that like I'll see these videos where they'll have a like an existing song. I don't know, say like Led Zeppelin, fucking A Whole Lot of Love.
Yeah.
But they'll have like somebody completely different singing it, and you'll see the video of this other completely different person, Christopher. Let's say it's Christopher Walken,
Yeah.
and he's singing A Whole Lot of Love as Christopher Walken. You see Christopher Walken, you hear Christopher Walken,
Wow.
but it's a whole lot of love with him singing it.
Wow.
And you really can't fucking tell a lot of. I smoke a lot of fucking dope, man. So I'm just saying, like I'm watching this shit blurry eyed, and it looks realistic.
Did I
Everything's
just
in
see what I saw?
4K, 8K. What's the new one now? 32K. Fuck, I don't know.
32. 16 was years ago, so we got to be about 32 now.
It's to the point now where like people don't even have to really do a whole lot. You know, if
No,
you-
just sit in your cave.
Well, I mean, I'm seeing all these ads for people selling this AI art, and I'm recognizing the
Selling,
programs
yeah.
that they're using. Like I just saw one today, and it's like I'm literally,
Album covers,
I literally made
band flyers.
stuff on this, and I'm not saying I made it. I did nothing. I put some prompts in, and it spit me out an image so comparison to this image that I recognize that he's using a particular program to the point where it's starting to get ridiculous. Like we're making this last generation for sure, but this new crop of people that are coming up, they're not taking the time to sing. Because why sing? You have autotune. You don't need to learn how
Oh,
to sing.
God. It's,
That's not true.
everything's
why
American
paint?
Idol now.
Why paint?
It's going to be the karaoke stand-up from here on out.
But that's
man.
what it is, and the thing is, it's like I've been talking to her about it. You know, she's 22, and that's they like to hear
You're
that
22?
sound.
Come a long way.
Fuck, I'm old.
Come a long way.
So it's one of those things
I
where
don't
it's like
fit
they
in with
like that sound. They
22-year-olds.
like that computerized digital sound. So that would be there regardless, even if like it wasn't. And so, well, so like when we had that one band that came over and they were all auto-tune singers.
Oh.
And
Sucked.
exactly, but we're listening to them live. We're not hearing them with all their shit on them. Now, we had to endure fucking trauma listening to them. But if you had a mixer and it had everything spitting out to the other side with the autotune and everything.
If they need all that shit, they're shit. Period.
But that's what I'm saying. Everything is lazy. All right, so this is another thing that I go back to. It's like, so I believe that all these generations, they're not thinking anymore. They're not storing information. They're not unintelligent. They just don't know anything. They're not idiots. They're just stupid. And it's not to the fact that they're all right, and I equate it to this.
Idiocracy.
Ever since I've had a cell phone, I don't know anybody's phone number. I don't know your phone number. I don't know your phone number. I don't know your phone number.
I
don't know my
Atlas.
phone number. At one point, when I was her age, I knew everybody's phone number
Yep.
that I ever had contact with. And there would be a list of 30, 40 numbers up there.
I know the feeling because I feel like my generation was the last generation to like remember a phone number.
shit.
How old
still
are
heard-
you? How old are you?
I'm 32.
Okay, yeah.
All right.
How old are you?
We're about to be 37. We're just tail end 36. But I remember my grandma's phone number. It was 987-2244. My dad's phone number was 987-26.
But you're on the tail end.
I know.
You two are millennials.
But I
Yep.
know all of my
Millennials.
family members.
I was 86.
Numbers.
I was like 14
You're
when it
different though.
happened.
You're not.
I went through
You're
life.
I'm
You're-
special.
you're part of it, but you aren't part of that next generation. Kind of like how
I remember before.
I've had Gen Xers
Sega.
come up.
It was before Sega. I remember that.
You're a millennial. Like
Yeah.
like if your big thing is Y2K, 9/11, you're a millennial.
Yeah. I remember.
How old were you in my
The
9/11?
Columbia. 11. That'd just be 15.
Yeah.
But it was. I remember the Columbine bombings,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember the Bowling for Soup shit.
Do you remember Waco?
Yeah, I remember vaguely Waco, but I didn't know Ruby Ridge or like Georgetown, or yeah, not Georgetown. It was the Temple of People.
Nixon was
The,
president when I was
massacre,
born.
Jonestown massacre.
Yeah. Nixon was president when I was born. I remember Jimmy Carter. I remember the election of Ronald Reagan. You know, I mean that's
Reaganomics. That's when credit cards were introduced, and now everybody's people that used to be in debt like this. They were more
Dude.
responsible with their money.
H.W. Bush was
an
in when I
interesting
was born.
decade.
Same with my sister.
Yeah. Going into the 90s was crazy because you had the Gulf War, and then you had the LA riots, and then you had this moment where people there wasn't horror movies anymore. Very few people would make a horror movie, and if they made a horror movie, it was a thriller, like Silence of the Lambs and stuff like that. It's a horror
Yeah,
movie.
Scream.
It was kind of almost optimistic if I'm looking back on it.
Well,
right?
yeah, but almost like people were almost so afraid to almost like people like impending doom. Like people almost knew something was around the corner in a way. There was something in the air, and people were just trying to get away from that. Because the 80s,
The
holy
scene
shit.
from Space Odyssey where the monkey picks up the what you call it, bone, and
Yeah.
whacks the other one. And he figures out how to kill. That's it right there. I see you.
Well, so you go through the love generation of the 60s, and then you have the 70s where, you know, you have the 70s opens up with Black Sabbath and The Exorcist and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
yeah, that's pretty
Okay.
grown for the time, really, man.
And
Yeah.
then you go into the 80s where you have Reagan, punk rock, and the most Tom Savini. Let's just put it that way. You have Tom fucking Savini. Things got wild, and that's why when at the end of the 80s, when you got into the 90s, when you do have like fucking the LA riots, O.J. Simpson.
Oh god,
Yep,
yeah.
I remember that.
If the glove don't fit, you must quit.
So are you just like trying to alienate me here?
Huh?
No,
Well,
no,
you had some
no,
cool things,
no,
perhaps,
no.
like
Yeah.
what?
I was like 4 months old when
Obama or
the Twin Towers
something?
fell.
But see, that's what I'm saying. Like, but you are like there's
So,
three
like-
generations here. Like you are what Gen Z,
Yeah,
right?
unfortunately, I'm like, okay.
Two
so,
millennials, and
hold
I'm
on.
Gen X.
I'm not technically Gen Z. I'm a zillennial. That's what they call
A
it.
what?
A zillennial.
Oh,
Fuck is that?
well, we gotta learn new words the older we get. We gotta
Okay.
learn new words because there's new words
They're
being made.
on the border of like being a millennial. They're relatable with younger millennials, but they're not really relatable with younger Gen Z.
Oh, these younger Gen Z, I saw a thing the other day where, like, I guess they're like the 14-year-olds. They're starting to get on the computers. Those guys are fucking savages, man. They're fucking savages. They're already making fun of them. We're dinosaurs.
Yeah,
but y'all guys
I'm
are getting
old.
y'all guys are about to get picked on by
Yeah.
those guys.
I'm old at this point.
They're coming out like savages.
Well,
But then-
what's crazy is people are coming out there. That's a Mike Tyson quote that he's saying that people these days are essentially talking shit like as if they've never been punched in the face before.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's true.
Yes.
It's the keyboard warrior thing.
People
Two
will
little
this
kids
shit
in
to-
school this past year had to fuck around and find out on my boy. They was picking on him, picking on him. They wanted to push him and hit him, and then they proceeded to get their asses whooped. But since they started, it kind of, luckily, it didn't go too bad.
I'm not for bullying. I don't think anybody
If you
should
get
have to be
picked on,
bullied.
I think you have a right to fucking punch that motherfucker in the face.
But there is a moment like, all right, now granted, I do think that some people do need to be put into place. There are some people that have chips on their shoulders or whatever. They're like, oh, that guy's never been punched in the face before. Have you ever met somebody you're like,
God, yeah. It's
he's
adults.
never,
I still mean adults.
exactly, and even like your own age, you're
Yeah.
speaking to them. You probably even work with them. You're like, you have never been punched in the fucking face before.
I've noticed that people that actively pursue fights have never been in a fight.
No, you don't want to
It's the
fight.
same. It's the
I
same.
store all my energy just not to fight.
It's the same with the people in politics that vote for war have never actively
Oh God,
served.
no.
Well, the loudest
You're
people
right.
are the least experienced in whatever that you do. So
Cheers to that. Cheers to fucking that.
to me, that's the way it's always been. It's just like, like the person that's like yard dogging and fucking bragging about how well
Oh,
he
yeah.
is and blah blah blah.
They're
It
the
doesn't matter.
one-uppers.
Doesn't matter if you're slinging pizza
Yeah.
or you're the fucking United States President of America. The one who's talking the most shit is the
Least experienced. Yup. Been there, done that.
Because someone that knows better is going to shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
They're going to let you say what the fuck ever, and they're going to be like, all right, now that that's fucking over with.
Never never interrupt your enemy when they're making a mistake. I think that was Sun Tzu or
Or
whatnot.
making an ass of themselves.
Exactly.
I think they also say give somebody enough rope to hang themselves.
Yeah. Speaking of that, I had to make a couple trips, man.
Yeah, tell us about that.
Yeah, what's
Oh,
going
dude.
on?
Is that like a Fight Club thing where you had to be flown across?
I had to drive there.
Okay.
I could have flown, but I'm just like, nah. So I had to go do this fight club down in Jacksonville. It's me and 14 other Honda guys. We're doing a yard sweep, and that was.
What's a yard sweep?
These, well, basically, if you need to go repair something that's about to go to, I don't know, say Saudi Arabia. Not saying it did or didn't, but somewhere
If it
hot,
did.
somewhere hot like Saudi Arabia.
If any of us go missing,
Anyway, so
that's why.
these 14 Honda guys, I'm just me, representing
Yeah,
my
yeah.
company.
Right.
And we had to replace some things. And these kids, they're like fucking 22, 24-year-old intern, still go to like Ohio State, engineer kids. So, I mean, they're just like, they're on fucking vacation, dude. it was an experience. I'm here, an old man, just busting my ass. They wanted me to go out with them and stuff. Let's go out for drinks.
You're
I'm
like,
like,
"No."
no, man. We got to do this again tomorrow, man.
Been there, done that.
Ugh.
When I was down in Muscle Shoals, I think somebody mentioned like, "Hey, let's go out for drinks after the session." It's like, no.
The older I get, man, I'm turning down, fun.
Yeah, most.
Like, I don't know why. It's like, I'll have fun again before I die, maybe.
Then again, that's
sometime.
kind of the benefit of being the youngest member of my. Kind of the benefit of being the youngest member of my band is I don't feel pressure to be like, "Hey, we going out for drinks after recording session or after the show." It's like, Hell no,
peer
man. I
pressure's
want to go
never
to
got
bed.
me. Nah, I've always been the one that can be like, nah, I'm good.
Well, you're also married. You got kids.
Well,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, CJ, you don't have kids, though, right?
I don't. No, my kid's got 4 legs and tails.
Right, exactly right.
You don't have to be a parent or have kids. Like, I could be if I had my driver's license, I could be the designated driver. If somebody said, "Hey, we want to drink," I'd be like, "Okay."
Oh, if I got a
sober to
designated
drive.
driver,
Yeah.
party.
Like, I'm fine with that.
I don't have a designated
Even
driver.
at my
Nice,
age,
already.
I don't
I'm
give
not
a fuck.
drinking.
Well, yeah.
I feel like it should be the other way around. Like, I feel like a 22-year-old should be like, "Yeah, shots." But I'm just
Well,
like,
kids
feel
wind
that
up
way.
locking you down. Anything that this is pretty much a PSA for not having kids until you're ready to settle
Oh,
down.
fuck yeah.
Because I mean, if you're not ready to settle, and this is what makes a lot of shitty parents is a lot of shitty parents wind up having kids,
Young.
and they're not ready, young, and they're not ready to settle down, and they wind up being shitty parents, and those shitty parents wind up raising shitty kids,
Yep.
and then
It's like a circle
saying.
of.
You're
It's
saying
like a circle
you're saying
of
America.
I know he goes shitty kids, and
a
then
circle of resentment, if one will. Yeah, I get it.
I've seen the ones with the silver spoons turn out sour, and the ones that didn't have shit
all
turn out
kids
great.
are gonna turn out shitty. It's depending on how much love that they get. I mean,
Yeah,
just
you gotta
because
give love.
just
You gotta give
because a
love.
kid is grown up in a rich family doesn't mean that he had a rich life. Love, exactly right. So I mean, neglect is neglect. You could be living in a project and be neglected, and you could be living in an 8-story fucking mansion and still be neglected.
And even there, it's also realizing that and realizing how good that you had it in some of those cases too. The thing I equate it to is an old ex of mine and a homeless guy I met the very first time I came here to Nashville. 2 things happened to me in 2010.
Was she with the homeless guy?
Oh no.
That's how things usually turn out.
No. 2 things happened to me when I was in Nashville. Or 2 things happened to me in 2010. One, I
Wait a
came
minute,
down.
let's go back to the
All right.
homeless guy, because
All right.
Well,
where does the homeless guy
You
fit
lost
in?
us at
Hang on now.
After homeless
There's
guy,
a whole
but-
to it.
there's a whole story here.
What did you do to this homeless guy?
There's a whole story here. I like to take my time when I'm telling a story. So the very first time in 2010, I came down here with my dad, and he was off doing work stuff. So this was before the flood, like the week of the flood.
I remember the big flood,
And
the 100-year flood.
2010.
I happened that's right. I happened to be up and down Lower Broadway, and I come across this homeless person. Dude had come up from Atlanta,
Was he wet?
Georgia. African American fella. And I'm trying not to get fucking canceled here.
He asked his if he was wet.
I'm getting canceled.
He's a black fella.
But anyway,
One of them wet black fuckers.
you about done over there. But anyway,
Black homeless guy.
you know, I'm talking to this guy, and he's like, yeah, I'd ridden a boxcar up here from Atlanta, Georgia, and we're shooting the shit. He's on his way to go see family, and it don't matter. And he was like, man, it don't matter how much I got in my pocket, as long as I'm awake to see the next day, then I'm happy, then I'm good.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like, shit, man. I didn't realize how much that would carry with me until the second thing. I dated somebody who grew up in a very well-to-do family. Big house. They had a horse farm in Maryland where I grew up. And I'm not saying any names, so don't be going around and being like, oh, dude, what the fuck was CJ's ex's name? Nah, shut the fuck up. I don't care.
Everybody knows
But-
his Amy.
All names are withheld to protect the innocent and the guilty. And she had a horse farm. Her parents were still together. Mine were divorced. And all that, big, a good life. But she was miserable all the damn time.
Oh, spoiled rotten.
Like if she wasn't able to go to the mall to go to Hot Topic, That had completely shit canned her entire month.
Wow. Like she would draw it out that long?
When she held a grudge, she held a grudge
Wow,
with a
I've-
capital G.
I've seen some doozies in my day, man. Wow.
But between those two and thinking of that, it's just like, man, the homeless dude had it right. As long as you get up on the right side of the grass, it's going to be a good day. It don't matter. It's an analogy.
Yeah, I like it, dude.
Was that for real? What
It's
he
a
said?
good
Is that
day.
like for real, or like a quote from dude?
I mean, I don't remember the exact word, but that's what boiled down to it. It's
Okay.
been like 13 years. You know how many of these I've had since then?
Me and this homeless guy.
So like I met this homeless dude. I was coming home, working from Little Caesars, and I was walking home from work down this actually very steep. Damn, everything's coming full circle. And this dude, he's eating crystals because there was a crystals right there. It's now a car lot, same building. And he's like, "Hey man, you got any money?" And now I'm seeing him eating, so I know that he's gonna, probably use it to get high. So I was like, "No man, I don't, but I've got a joint on me. Do you want to smoke a joint?" He's like, "Sure." So we go behind the fucking animal hospital and smoke a joint. His name is Douglas, and we sit there for a good 45 minutes to an hour, bullshitting, talking to this dude. And it was just one of those things. It was like really cool meeting this dude and like listening to his story. Who, by the way, man, hey, we gotta really help these motherfuckers on the street. This
Some
thing that
of
we're
them,
doing,
man.
We really do, yeah.
We need to help these.
We
people.
really
That
do.
could be anybody.
Yeah, but regardless, from I don't want to soapbox, but from that experience, like anybody who wanted to like hang out for a minute and talk, it doesn't matter if they wanted to smoke a joint or they're upset. Sometimes people just need to
Talk to
hear
people.
another person.
They need a moment. Yeah.
Yeah, they need to talk. I mean, dude, at work, there's this guy that I work with, and then I'm pulling up one morning. He gets to work 2 hours before I do. He has an earlier shift. And I pull up in the drive of work, and there's these at the dildo factory, and okay, never mind. I don't want to
Dildo.
drive. I don't want to drive. But that, so and I see that he's out there with our boss, and he's visibly upset. I mean, teary eyes and everything. And there's a police officer there, to the point where he didn't have anyone to talk to, and he had a problem at work, and the boss didn't want to talk to him, and he started to lose his shit because he had no one to talk to. He called, not the boss, not anyone at work, but he called the police to come and talk to him because he was losing his fucking shit. And it was just, man, sometimes someone just needs someone to fucking talk to.
Yeah.
It was crazy. And you can see where he's just on the verge because, like, if you look at it, it looks like they're there to take his ass away. But he's the one that actually called them.
Wow.
But yeah, thinking about
Those are the
that.
last
there's-
guys I'm ever gonna call.
Well, go-
He
So,
talks
so
much.
did anything crazy happen when you went on your trip? Where was the trip to?
Oh, Jacksonville,
Florida?
crazy.
Florida?
Yeah, Jacksonville, Florida.
Birthplace of
Crazy
Leonard
one
Skinner,
happened
alright.
in Indiana. I
You were
had
in
to-
Indiana.
I had to go to Indiana for another one, for another.
And are
issue.
these like mass
This was-
issues? Are they
this one
car
was
accidents?
This was a long sword. Yeah,
It's like
no, it's
Final
just,
Destination
It's
5.
like no, it's just bad product. All right, let's go look and see.
Okay.
Like line of sight.
And is it one of those things like Fight Club? Like if the cost.
Yeah, you gotta kill the other guy. Yeah. But
Remind me
anyways,
not to
I'm
come to
there.
you for my
So-
car problems. I might
so-
get my throat cut.
Here I am at this so and so OEM
Uh-huh.
Fight Club, and the other guy that I come there to contact. Next thing you know, he starts things ain't going his way. Yeah. No,
Hey.
Sloanster over here is the guy.
And who is
got
he
it
to
down.
you? Who is he to you?
He's the customer.
Oh.
He starts yelling at me. So he decided he's gonna bulldog me. Starts yelling at me line side.
Physically or verbally?
Yeah, just getting loud.
Okay.
And the next thing you know, I'm getting loud.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, hey, this part fits the jig. This part fits your car. We're not
flux
paying. We're not
capacitor.
paying this. The flux capacitor. We're not paying for this shit. We won the fight. Fight Club's ours.
Okay.
So, anyways, it's just getting uglier and uglier since then.
Yeah.
I dread Monday.
Oh damn. And how long were you gone?
Oh, that was just like a 3-day trip. That's only business trips I had.
You went to
take.
2 states in 3 days?
No, this was separate events.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That trip actually started out in Michigan, then down to Indiana. So that was a 3-day.
I mean, you do pass through one to get to the other, so.
So Crash and I wound up going to Illinois to see Grandma, but while we were there, we decided to check out like the dispensaries and shit like that.
Oh, Illinois is straight up wreck?
Wreck.
Well, yeah, but we don't know because either
It is wreck, but they fucked us over.
we got fucked at
twice.
2 different dispensaries. So
How?
there's all these different
I always heard you
THCs.
can only get half of what the normals can get.
So
the
like.
locals.
It's not the quantity that was the problem, it's the compound.
If you read the label, and like they got it to the point where you don't even talk to a bud tender anymore, you walk up to a kiosk, order
It's
what
an
you want,
iPad, you
and
just-
like so, like it'll tell you how much THC something is. So say it's like 30% THC.
Yeah.
When you finally get it, it says THC 00.59, which is nothing. THCA, which would be like, you know, the 30%, you know, and then, you know, a little bit for CBD, a little bit for this. It has the breakdown of what the elements are. It'll say on the label whether it's been, you know, expected for microbes and, you know.
So they ain't got no straight up dank in there?
We
They do.
don't know.
They do have it, but
You
they
didn't.
just fucked
It's
up.
like, is it kind of like Willy Wonka's Wonderland? There's just so much to do that you can't just see
So they
them
say
all,
the
or-
difference between THCA and regular THC,
They ain't
Delta
got
9.
signs?
But that's the thing. It's all supposed to be. And like, if you had a medical card, you can go grow your own. I think you can grow up to 10 plants or something like that. If you have a medical card and you live there, then you get to purchase more. You get to possess more.
Well, yeah.
There's a benefits to being a resident and having the medical card, as if you were just coming up from another state. But it was just like, so they say the difference between it is that the THCA doesn't give you that psychoactive effect. So like if you made brownies out of it, it's not going to do anything. But if say burning it like in a bowl or a joint or everything, it's the extreme heat. So lighting it, burning it, being on fire, smoking in a joint or a bowl, that heats the chemical to transform it into regular THC. But I don't understand why it's a legal state. Why is there so much THCA?
But the drawback is that it only lasts for like 20 minutes.
So that's another thing. It's like work weed. So like, if I smoke a joint, I'm good for 45 minutes to an hour and a half of being stoned. And then there's the level off period, especially if you eat something, then boom, you're done. Go to sleep or something. But this, it's like you smoke, it smells great, tastes great. But then within about 15, 20 minutes, you realize that you're sober as fuck. Like you're initially like got a good buzz. You're like, oh, okay, it's not diet weed. But then 20 minutes later, you're like sober and you're like, we bought an eighth and it was done within that day. And all right,
and
so
that was your limit. You couldn't go back and get any more that day. You
Oh
wait till
no!
the next
Well, so
day.
they take your ID. So like, if you got 2 people, you're fine. Like you could get, I think you could buy up to a quarter per person.
Huh.
And we went in there, we bought a quarter or something. They had it on sale.
So how does it work if you're rolling down the road? You gotta like hold your receipt with you, keep it. Don't.
So
It's
it's in a
stapled.
bag. So
It's-
just like any other prescription, they put it in their bag and it's stapled with the receipt.
Yep.
And just like prescriptions here, especially with the opioid crisis, you're not supposed to open that bag until you get home. If you open that bag that says that you've gotten into it, you've probably gotten 1 or 2. And you can't drive while you're intoxicated. And it doesn't matter if you're on big pharma or you've been drinking or it's cannabis. Intoxication is intoxication. So they want. So do you have to have it in the floorboard? Is that a thing?
You have to have it in the back floorboard on the driver's side so that the driver
Well, that's how I do
cannot
my beer too. I
access
always
it.
put it in my back seat to make sure I
Yeah.
don't think I'm drinking it next to it. You know what I mean?
But again, as long as they don't smell it,
You
it's
can
not a
put it in the
problem.
trunk too. As long as the driver can't reach it.
Hey,
It's
no,
fine.
no. Where's the head around here to use the
Just
restroom?
right through there.
Oh, right through there?
Yeah.
Cool. I'll be right back.
Right.
So I don't know, man. It's really different. Like it's almost Tennessee. Like there's no difference between Tennessee and Kentucky and Illinois going through there. It looks like the same exact thing, except for the point where you get to where there's the farmland. Are you dying?
Oh!
No, the door's
Honey,
stuck.
Boris. Boris.
Oh, they gotta get the door.
Sorry, folks.
Sometimes you just gotta take a piss break. It doesn't matter. Piss is coming. It's a coming.
Make sure he doesn't get
Yeah, he's right there. All right, what was I saying?
Oh, we were talking about the last thing we stopped with is when driving through there and how everything looked exactly the same. So you pretty much come to the corn.
Oh yeah, and that's pretty much it. And then all of a sudden you get to all the flat land, and then it's just you're either looking at corn or you're looking at soybeans, and that's it. And then like
Tell him about the museum.
the roads are just miles and miles of nothing. Cornfields, soybeans. There's no speed limit, and everything is perfectly level, perfectly straight. And if you don't watch yourself, you'll fly through this. I mean, it's children of the fucking corn out there, man. I mean, there's fucking nothing.
Jeepers creepers.
Where we were, there was no businesses. You had to drive 45 minutes to get to a business.
Jesus.
Yeah. There was
So when you went to
nothing
town,
out
it was an adventure.
there. And if you were going back home, it was a good idea to go ahead and gas up, just because of the point of just like, well, it's a 45-minute drive there.
And then back.
And then back. You don't know what you're going to be doing there, too. You know, so
Because I've run the borderline a lot, and I got like 5 miles. You know, I always push
Yeah.
the limit. Well, you can't push the limit on 45 miles.
especially out there, because, like, you know, if you get stranded on the side of the road, you know, anywhere else, you'd have somebody be able to drive by, and you know, you can hold up your gas can, and they take you somewhere. As opposed to there, you don't know how long it's going to be before someone drives by.
Tell him about the signs that we saw on
And
the way
then
up there.
they don't want to turn around and go back that other 20 miles.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You had to find the right person.
Yeah, everybody out there is self-sufficient. Everyone has generators. Everybody is on their own. Everybody who lives out there owns land out there. They are either farming or it's being farmed for them. Yeah, and it's just corn and soybean. It's just nothing else. And it's so peaceful out there.
Man, I wish somebody paid me to grow corn.
They
It's
would.
I mean,
You just have to be a Lutheran. They
It's
won't
so-
sell land to you if you're not a Lutheran.
it's so great just to be able to go to the head shop. You don't have to wait on the weed man. And then you go home where you're in complete isolation. You know, fucking torch one up and just chill. And there's no one there to bother you. No one there to say anything to you. They keep their doors fucking unlocked there, which is fucking crazy. And you know if someone's walking around that isn't supposed to be there. Hey, everyone waves at everybody. Everybody knows everybody. And if you see somebody that doesn't belong, and it doesn't matter what their fucking race is, but if you see somebody who doesn't belong, everybody knows that person does not belong, and that person probably won't get very far without being stopped.
Oh,
I mean, it's so remote.
try that in a smoke. That's over with now. Now we're on to the redheaded guy about the rich. What's that song?
Rich people north of Richmond.
Yeah.
What's this?
Oh, it's a beautiful song.
What?
Beautiful song.
I almost said North people rich of Northland.
So is this something
That's
else?
the number one. It's beating Taylor Swift right now. And it's a dude just went out in his backyard and it's fucking did an acoustic song. Redheaded guy, big old red beard. It's a beautiful song.
So like a YouTube hero or something?
I mean, it's still blaring up worldwide right now.
I still got to sit down and listen to that song all the
It's
way
beautiful.
through.
I heard it, and the next day, somebody's like, "Man, you gotta hear this song." Next day, it's like this viral thing. I'm just like, "Whoa!"
Well, a lot has
How quickly
happened.
that shit can just go.
A lot has
And
happened
dude,
since the last
they
time
already
we were
offered him
on.
$8 million. He turned it down. He's like, "I don't want this." He's like, "I don't want 6 tour bursts and all this stuff." Because I wrote these songs because I'm
What, to
suffering.
re-record it?
No, just to sign him as an artist.
Well,
Yeah, exactly.
And it was he wants he just wrote these songs for his own mental health and
And
depression he's going through. You know,
and it turned out to help him make $40,000 a day.
without having a record company.
On
That's
his
just streaming.
platform.
That's
You
just
don't-
streaming. thing.
You don't need one nowadays. I mean, I'm on.
And they won't contact you until you got enough following, anyways. They just
My band's
gotta
on
take
record.
something from somebody else.
My band's on record number 4.
Oh, actually, CJ, tell us about your new album.
Yes. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, dude, it's done with that.
Yeah, I meant to transition it a little bit smoother. My band Low Swamp Monsters just released our 4th record, 100% live bootleg. It was live recorded at Browneroo down in Manchester, Tennessee.
Browneroo?
Browneroo. Brown.
What is Browneroo?
It's this little festival that a family runs every year. My friend John McGee from the Cowpunks, who was also on the bill that day, I played lap steel with them. A couple of the Low Swamp Monsters guys play with them as well. And we had played there, and John McGee from Cedar Pepper Productions, big Murfreesboro music guy, recorded it both audio and video and sent me both. And for those who are wondering about our trip to Fame Studios earlier this year, that is almost ready. So I'm hoping to get that released as soon as possible. But to help out, not leave people being like, they're full of shit, they aren't recording anything.
Oh, you guys are always active, man. You're probably one of the most active guys in this scene, to be honest with you. Like, everybody else takes breaks, not CJ. He just keeps going.
If I don't have gigs, I get itchy. Like, I get literally itchy. So COVID was the worst until DNP pulled me out of the fire. Because I was about ready to kill somebody.
So originally, COVID shut us down like it shut everybody down.
That's right.
But then, we decided to take a break and do something else. We decided to do an episode of the commentary. But being itchy and everything, I just made a post. And you guys, the Mud Crickets and Lost Swamp Monsters, were one of the first bands that reached out. And then from that one thread, because everybody was feeling the same way, everything flipped and turned around for us, and COVID wound up being great for us in a time where it was horrible for anybody else, because we were giving people an opportunity to come perform, be sociable. And so, I think it was just, it sucks that, COVID happened, and regardless of what anyone feels about it, but I mean, as far as music and comedy, it almost destroyed those scenes, those communities. The blood of it. A lot of people really fought to keep the communities together. We did.
Yep.
For sure. I remember Bert Kreischer was doing drive-in comedy, just trying to keep it together. I mean, there's so many people that fought so hard that, I mean, everything could have died then. We could have looked at a lost art as far as, anything.
Well, I'm glad we held on to it.
It could have been a great reset. But the fact that everybody made it through. But anyway, go on with your saying, man.
But yeah, I'm too fucking resilient. The COVID wasn't gonna bring me down. But I was feeling mighty itchy that day. I was feeling mighty itchy during that time. But this is our 4th record. My 4th record. We have. Yeah, like I said, 4 records and 1 unofficial record, Low Swamp Monsters Rides Again. I got to go through and edit that one because for that Low Swamp Monsters Rides Again, there were a few tracks where my metronome on the computer popped back on.
Oh. So you got that click track?
I hate click tracks. But yes, Live at Browneroo does not have a click track. That's straight live. The same audio that you hear on that record is the same audio we were doing at Browneroo. There's no overdubs, it's completely live. And that's the way I like them. But we have another one coming up later this year from when we recorded at Fame Studios in Muscle Shoals. I mean, I talked about it on the other podcast. I'll talk about it here. We went down to Muscle Shoals back in March, recorded at Fame Studios. We all nerded out about it because, the guys and I are huge music nerds. Our band chat is just loaded with talking about our favorite bands, favorite songs, what we happen to like at the time.
So how much did that cost roughly?
A fair bit. Rooster would know more about that since he took most of it he took most of it on himself to record there because he was like, I love Rooster. He believes so much in this band. And with other lineups, I can usually tell which ones ain't gonna do it, and I'll just be like, I might slow up for this lineup, see if they're gonna get their shit together. But Rooster, from the jump, from the first time that he played in Los Swamp Monsters, God bless his cotton socks, he has been ready. He's messaging me like every week, like, when's the next gig? I want to go to work. Let's go to work. Let's do this. And when we were talking about recording at Muscle Shoals, he was like, I'll help pay for it. What can I do?
Damn.
Motherfucker, this motherfucker refied his house to
God.
pay for Muscle Shoals.
Well, I think we need to. Here's the Rooster on funding the CD that's coming out.
Yeah, so
Producer.
So for Fame Studios, like, fucking here's to you,
Wow.
Rooster. I wish I could give you the pat on the back here. So if you're watching this live right now, buddy, we fucking love you. But anyways, going back to the live record, it's 100% live. It's Dave, me, Dave Dougherty, me, Rooster, Bruce Andrews, and Jeff Cox on saxophone.
Oh, where's the one guy on the side?
Oh, I go booming pussy. He moved to Atlanta.
American pussy. You go booming American.
But yeah, he moved.
Him?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. You don't remember the sax guy?
Yeah,
So he's in Atlanta now?
Yeah, he moved to Atlanta. So
He should have went to Bill Street in Memphis.
well, he's on the Muscle Shoals recording. He's on the Muscle
Nice,
Shoals recording.
that's
So
good.
and Other bootlegs in mind if the overdubbing and all that process takes too long. I've got some other bootlegs. So we haven't heard the last of our boy Dennis. He's
Good.
he's great people, great sax man. If he's watching tonight, hey buddy,
Hey, help CJ get down to Atlanta. Get some gigs.
I would love to come down to
Do a little
Atlanta.
mini Atlanta tour.
I got some cousins down in Georgia. I'd love to go see him. But yeah, that record's great. It's already up on all the major platforms. I just got to update the website. So www.losswampmonsters.com. I'm old school. I even got a freaking website, man.
Nice.
Um,
You're supposed to have
I just
one.
didn't build
even
one.
even in the days of MySpace, you're still if you're gonna be a band, you still need to have a legit website.
At least I didn't build it on GeoCities or whatnot. Y'all remember that one?
I never did.
I
remember GoDaddy.
Oh, I had a GoDaddy as well. I just never renewed the contract for it. Oops. But
I used to use the big boob girl with the cleavage.
yeah, I remember the
GoDaddy,
YouTube.
that time, like, GoDaddy.
I
I don't
remem-
even need a website. GoDaddy.
I remember the ads for that too.
There'll never be a day where it'll just be that
Yeah,
open anymore.
on the Spike channel. Y'all remember Spike?
Yeah.
Barley.
But yeah, that's that's gonna be out the record. Some of it's live stuff that's gonna appear on the Muscle Shoals record. Some of it is, stuff that we like. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's an original or not. If I like a song, I'm gonna try and learn it and try and show the guys how to play it, and they'll do the same too. So it's because
Everybody does their homework. That's good.
oh yeah, I mean these are, yeah, it's definitely a good sign when they show the effort to want to be there. And that's what I love about this lineup is these guys, they want to be there. They want to go do it, because if they didn't want to go do it, we sure as shit wouldn't have recorded at Fame. We wouldn't have been releasing these bootlegs. I'd probably be drinking a beer right now.
There is so many rules.
Speak of the devil.
There's so many rural Tennessee bars, little bars in towns that you ain't even went to yet that you could be making some serious dough.
Oh, those are my favorite places to play. I love playing those
Down in
little
Columbia,
bars.
man, you should be hitting up Riverside. You should be trying out Giles County, out in Summertown, Lawrence County.
Oh yeah, we're
Any-
Is summertime where the commune is?
Yeah,
commune.
yeah. You can stop and talk to the hippies too.
Ooh, I can get down with the hippies. I love the hippies. I love
Been
everybody.
out there? To the
Mhm.
commune?
not to it. I've like went mudding behind their fence.
Should we do
I love everybody, man. Rednecks, punks, and hippies.
should we do like a DMP Fear and Loathing in the Summertown Commune?
Oh, there's a better one than that. There's a Hippie Hill. That's what they got actual TPs and shit. I played a show at Hippie Hill. It's in Christina. It's like the elbow of fucking the armpit of fucking Coffee County, like legit. It's in Christiana or something. Christiana. Tennessee.
Coming back from Illinois, we saw it just right up 24 in Adams. They have the Bell Witch Cave. It's literally like so close.
Yeah,
to
that would be something. Yeah, I'm not fucking with that bitch.
Oh wait,
I don't want
So
to.
I figured we do a Fear and Loathing and go up to
We
Adams.
go to haunted houses. That's the real haunted house.
Hey, that's-
the haunted cave.
Oh, Bell Witch Cave? I passed by
There's
there.
people that's gotten pictures of a door that ain't there. Like it caught in pictures somehow. There's like no door in this.
Well,
cave.
I mean, it's part of like the historical places, like at this get off and everything. They're like, hey, Bell Witch Cave, you know, blah blah blah. But it was just, I don't know, it's
Well,
literally
if you do,
so
though,
close from
don't
where we
take.
are.
They say don't take any rocks, because then you'll have.
No, you never
don't
take
take anything from
Yeah.
there, man.
Oh, that's Hawaii. You don't take shit from Hawaii. Not even
like the Brady Bunch.
yeah, you don't take shit from there because you'll wind up with immensely bad luck.
speaking of horror, tell them about the unfortunate detour that we took and the landmark that we
Man,
encountered.
all right. So coming back from Illinois and everything, my phone starts glitching because of the fucking the Wi-Fi, the data. So we go to her phone for the GPS. Like mine is fucking up. So we didn't know it until after about an hour that her phone is set to avoid interstates.
Oh.
from
Yeah.
Nashville driving.
So we cross over 24, and I'm just like, there's no traffic or anything. Should we? You know, like, well, let's go ahead and just keep following this. We wind up passing over 24 again, and we're like, all right, well, fuck it, let's go ahead. And she winds up realizing after we passed over 24 again what she had done. So she goes ahead and changes it. So it puts it back to where we'll be aiming back to the 24 interstate. But it abruptly turns us to the left and then abruptly to the right to we're going up this like blue steel see-through ramp. And as I cross over to the fucking right-hand side, all of a sudden we're going over this blue see-through bridge going up with the Ohio River or a lake. I don't know.
No, it was the Ohio River.
I'm colorblind, and there's this haze to everything. So the bridge, the sky, everything was blending together to where it seemed because we're going fast enough to where everything, the see-through bridge is like literally like not there, and it looks like we're flying over the fucking the water. It is so fucking crazy. It's so narrow, and I about lost my fucking shit, man. And it was so long. It took us so long to cross over, man. And it was literally like we were jumping Dukes of Hazzard style over the fucking Ohio River. It was crazy.
Freaking chitty chitty bang bang that motherfucker.
When we got over the bridge, he took his hands off the wheel for a second, and
And
they
it
were
was
just
so
wet.
sweaty. So sweaty.
I can imagine. I'm terrified of heights, so that would.
Yeah, I had no warning whatsoever. I mean, I've had issues with heights, but it's one of those things where I've gotten over to a point. But that was just thrown at me, man, and oh my God, it was crazy.
I kept telling him to look down because there are these really cool ridges in the bridge where the bridge separates to let boats go through.
Oh,
And
like
he
a.
wouldn't look down at them. He just didn't.
I looked at the top of the cars in front of me and up. I didn't look to where there was. I didn't want to look down because, like I said, there was no bridge. Everything was moving so fast. Like if you look into a fan with the fan's on,
You
you
can't
don't
see
see
the
the
blades.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, this is the way this was. So I didn't see bridge. We're flying through the air.
Oh God. You're up like this. Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, and I know my body is my eyes.
That's why I don't like going up and down mountains. man.
Yeah.
When I was a kid riding, I didn't think nothing about it while my dad's driving. I went on my honeymoon. We got just a little way up the mountain, and I'm like, pull over, and she's like, well, I'll drive up, and I'm like, I can't even ride up this thing.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I'm coming down the worst.
They're so narrow, especially if you have somebody coming the other way. It winds up being such a sketchy fucking experience.
That
The
sounds
speed
fucking
limit was like
terrifying.
25. The speed limit on it was like 25.
Oh, hell no. I ain't staying on no damn see-through bridge at no 25 fucking miles an hour. Hell no.
And we were high as hell.
Oh.
Super high. Yeah.
Allegedly.
We've got one of those cans that
Allegedly.
that works so well of keeping everything. Now you don't want to crack that open in the car. Allegedly, you don't want to crack it open in the car because it's over with. The jig is up. But for the most part, if you don't crack it open in the car, you're solid.
Don't crack it open in the car.
Don't crack it open in the car.
Don't spit out your food for no reason. Don't crack it open.
Those seem like pretty sage pieces of advice.
Brush your teeth in the morning. Wipe your ass at night.
Anybody see any new movies?
Oh, I've seen a few.
Lou and I finally saw the saw that Haunted Mansion movie that came out
Cocaine
recently.
Bear.
Oh, that had to be
Cocaine.
good.
I showed it to her grandmother.
Great movie.
Yeah.
We watched
great
it with my
movie.
grandparents.
You know it's based on a true story, right?
Well,
Yeah,
the first 5 minutes is true.
Yeah. After that, maybe not. But it's pretty solid.
I actually enjoyed it. What is her name? Elizabeth Banks, who directed
Oh, yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, I really, I mean, if this is something that she wants to do, I really see her really doing some really
She's
cool
a great
things.
actress.
As far, but as far as like being a director for a comedy,
Yeah.
having an eye for it, it's her first movie. I mean, it's
Not a bad first movie.
I'll give her 5 out of 5 Pigs. That's good.
Cobweb was decent. It's not the greatest thing, but it keeps you guessing.
Yeah,
You think it's a ghost story, then it goes on like every 20 minutes. You think something else is happening, so it keeps you involved. I mean, it's not the greatest movie in the world, but I mean, it's pretty good. Midsummer. I mean, I fucking love fucking Midsummer.
What's the one
I've been
we
trying for a
watched
few
last
years to
night?
watch it.
See, I've heard a lot of things about it, and they keep
can't
saying
find
Wicker
it.
Man. They keep saying Wicker Man. It's on Voodoo. They keep saying Wicker Man, and I'm like, I hated Wicker Man. I even hated the remake of Wicker Man. And there is this element of Wicker Man.
Dude, I'd have got the fuck off that island way before that guy decided, before I ended up in the Wicker Man.
I would
swim.
Here they're using psychedelics to keep you involved, and the way that they do it is kind of like Fear and Loathing, where they kind of like, it's very subtle and everything kind of weird. It's not one of those kind of cheesy things where like, oh, you're tripping and flashing lights, like things are moving, you're not realizing they're moving till you realize that they're moving and shit. You know, I mean, it's the way that they did it is great. I really enjoyed it.
Nah, I don't think I get on that island. No.
Which one was the one that we watched last night? The one about the thing that just wanted a friend.
Oh, Let's Play. It's about a ghost named Larry.
It's decent.
But yeah, it's actually
It was like
actually good.
Babadook, kind of. Is what
It's
it reminded
kind
me
of like Babadook, yeah. But I liked it better than Babadook.
I like Babadook, but purely for that scene where she just.
Do you guys like
Why
slow
can't you
burn?
Just be normal.
Right. Do you guys like slow burn horror?
Sometimes.
I can't.
I'm more of
It
an.
better be worth it at the end, motherfucker.
But that's the thing. I mean, I feel like
Mr.
all of these should
Director.
have the tagline of "Well, you wait to the end." You know those shitty videos? They say "Wait to the end," and you wait to the end, and
It
nothing's
sucks,
there.
yeah.
That's what these slow burn or intellectual horror or head horror, whatever they want to call it.
Psychological.
Yeah.
Psychological
But
horror, yeah.
I mean, there's some like Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a psychological horror.
What
These things are
are-
like these slow burns.
So there's there's barely any jump scares in the movie, right? It's like one of those where it's almost like an
All
atmospheric.
environmental.
I can't even tell you the title. Is it Triquarium or something like that? Vivarium. It's
Vivarium.
Vivarium.
I did like Vivarium.
That's fucked up.
Vivarium is great. I like that.
You raise it and we'll let you out.
What was the one that we watched that was a horror sci-fi movie with Natalie Portman? I think it was like Annihilation. Is that what it was?
Oh, that one.
So
that
like
was
the
a
bear
letdown.
part is cool. The bear part.
Yeah,
is cool.
but when it gets down to the end, the ending is just like.
What, where she's mirrored with like the. What was it? Was
I
it a
don't know what
fungus?
the ending
What
was.
it,
I don't know. They
It
all
was
started
like an
blending
entire-
together. Everyone was blending together. So plants
It
and
was like a
animals were
hive
blending
mind,
together.
right?
I don't know.
The
It was
ending-
different for everybody.
I'm more of an action, comedy, and western guy myself, but
I like porn and porn accessories.
but you know,
Hey, rest in peace, the voice of Dale Gribble.
Yeah.
Oh
indeed.
yeah. Actually, hey, we've lost a lot of people since this has been on. We lost Paul Rubens, Pee Wee Herman.
Oh no!
freaking
no.
Bob Barker too. I
Yeah.
saw that.
What?
and
Is that real? Because I thought
What?
he died a long time ago.
Uh-oh.
about as real as it comes. I saw.
Good. Can we change it to Bob Barker now? Because I'm getting so sick of saying Mandela. I want to say, okay,
What?
now we're at the Bob Barker effect. If you thought Bob Barker was dead before then,
Yeah,
we're going with the Bob Barker effect.
the Bob Barker effect. It wasn't he? Every
I
time I
thought he was
turned
already
around, I
dead.
thought the motherfucker was dead.
99 years old.
Wow.
99.
Everybody remembers Betty
One year
White.
to the smoker's can.
Man, Bob Barker
Huh?
got
One year to the
so much
smoker's
pussy
can.
back in the day. That son of a bitch, man. Him and like Hugh Hefner. It's like that.
Dude, there's been some pretty bad shit come out about you.
Yeah.
He's
What do
pretty.
you expect?
Yeah.
You expect him to be
He-
an upstanding
He
guy?
has some power, dude. Because people, his guests, he videotaped anything they did.
Well, yeah, it's all on his comp. He would invite people out to his
Man, he
parties.
must have really protected Bill Cosby for a
Dude.
long time. Because Bill had his own like fucking room over there.
Well, he's about to be making a comeback, from what I understand. He's supposed to be.
Bill
Power
Bill
corrupts
Cosby?
people.
Bill Cosby's supposed to be
Yep.
coming back. He's supposed to be doing another special. Supposed to be going out on tour.
He's like 85 by now.
You look at him; he looks like Yoda.
Yeah, he's got like a blind eye now, doesn't he?
He looks fucked.
No, he kind of looks like Uncle Ruckus from the Boondocks.
But
Oh,
I think
shit.
what this is all damage control. He's got to go out there and then like save his
No
image
relation.
now. Because the last thing on anyone's mind about Bill Cosby is
Is
just,
that.
is the Hannibal Buress. I
Didn't
mean, he went to jail for it, so obviously it happened. But
Hannibal Buress is such a character. Did you see when he like
Yeah, he got out on
sucker-kicked
he got out on
Flav
a technicality too.
Not that he get out.
Yeah, that's where he's even out. He still had
He
another
was,
20 years to
tried
go.
for the same crime twice or something like that.
They messed up something.
They
in-
messed up a piece of evidence that they presented. He had been tried for it on another crime, and so it was technically tried for the same crime twice.
Oh yeah, double jeopardy.
Yeah,
Well,
they fucked it up. Prosecution attorney.
Because from my understanding, he was pretty ruthless about drugging the ladies.
well,
Not-
these are some old cats that used to do things in a time when you could get away with it. But in this day and age, with everything is being recorded, you can't get away with shit.
You shouldn't be
Mhm.
able to get away with roofing somebody.
I'm not
sorry.
saying
Back
that
in
you
the
should.
good old days.
I'm just saying that there was a time
That
where
it
you
happened.
could do something,
Man, we don't have
and there was
prisons.
probably a 99.9% chance that you can get away with it.
That's man.
I mean,
not now.
it sucks, but it happened. I mean, hell.
I don't condone it.
Yeah.
The way
I'm just
that you
saying that.
said it.
I'm just saying that
They went
there was a time
okay.
where, if someone gets away with something, the first time, then they do it again, and they get away with it again that second time. That's what they do,
Oh.
and they get better at it.
Or
Think of how old he was when he got busted.
Yeah.
Then think about when he started getting some money back when he's doing the cartoon.
it's inevitability. You can play on the railroad tracks 100 times, but it's always the 101st that the train comes along and squashes your ass.
There's a point where that shit comes up with you. I mean, a lot of people, you know, they don't get busted, but you live long enough and you keep doing the same old shit, there is going to be a point where you are going to get popped. How can you not?
Like I said,
Yeah.
it's like playing on the railroad tracks. You can play on the railroad tracks 100% or 100 times, but the 101st, that train's going to come along and run your ass over. That's what happened.
She'll be coming around the mountain when she comes.
Well, they're making a TV series as a prequel to Friday the 13th called Crystal Lake.
No shit.
Yeah.
Where it shows them all picking on him and shit.
From what I understand,
That'd
yeah.
be so cool. You do a couple seasons of him going through hell, and then he turns into Jason.
So, like, it seems like it would be a really cool idea, especially as a series where you
You
can
build
spend
it
some
up, right?
time with it. Yeah,
Yeah.
but then they could
Chucky
really.
series.
So, like, I'm in and out with the Chucky series, and I just
can't.
it's.
I'm just waiting on
It's one of
Alien
my-
Romulus. It comes out September 24th next year.
So I've seen that.
It's done.
Who's it directed
It's
by?
done. The guy that did Evil Dead, the remake, and he also did a
Not
couple.
J.J. Abrams.
No, not J.J. Abrams. It's a Freddy or Alvarez.
Is this a standalone or is this part of the timeline?
It's standalone.
Because they were supposed to come out. Danny McBride was supposed to do the second part of Covenant.
Really?
And it never came out.
Man.
Yeah, because Danny McBride produced the Covenant, and then they were supposed to do a second one because they just.
I know, 'cause
they
he was
left it.
Tennessee.
Yeah, well, they left it open to the point where, like, there was supposed to be a third one. Nothing's come up with it so far.
I love Aliens. And it was developing a show for FX, but it looks like it's about to fall through.
Did you ever watch Vice Principals with him?
No, I never watched that as much. I mean,
It
I
was
remember it was
funny.
Kenny Powers.
Who was the other guy that's in that? with him?
He's been on down.
Coggins.
Yeah. He's funny.
Righteous
in everything.
Gemstones is where it's at.
I love it, man.
I
You
can't
won't
get
watch
into it. I can't get
You
into
won't
it.
do
So fucking funny.
I need to sit down and watch some TV. It's been a minute. I've been busy playing gigs.
What you been playing?
Huh?
What you been playing?
Whatever I can.
What's
Oh,
your
yeah.
favorite right
What for sure? Gigs or games?
now?
Gigs. All games.
Oh, I like the Red Dead Redemption series.
Did you play the zombie one?
I remember when Undead Nightmare came out. I actually played the
That's
first
been a while
game
now.
back in 2010, or it might have been 2010. It might have been a little bit after because I
It's
was
been about
house
10 years. Yeah.
I was house sitting for my aunt, and I played through the entire first Red Dead. And then when I found out the second one was a prequel, I was just like, I wound up watching it like a movie. So I really love the Red Dead series. I heard that I heard that the first one's finally coming out for the Switch, so that'll be interesting. It'll be nice to. I don't want to say replay some of those moments because if you actually go through the story, I'm not going to spoil it for anybody, but it winds up being depressing as fuck. But
Oh, one dude dies from tuberculosis.
yeah, but I mean,
There's
it's
a couple of games coming out that I wouldn't mind. Like they're remakes, like they're doing a remake of Resident Evil 4.
yeah, I heard
and,
about that.
The remake of Dead Space.
So what did you think of the other Resident Evil remakes that you played?
So I played the remake a long time ago on the GameCube. Of course, they had the remake of Resident Evil 1, which is a phenomenal game.
Oh, I remember
But
the
then-
GameCube too.
Yeah, and then I just recently played the remake of Resident Evil 2 and the remake of Resident Evil 3, and they've taken all the puzzle elements out of games now, so it's really weird. It's like you don't have these. I understand that they do kind of slow down the action, but a lot of these games are coming out, especially games like Silent Hill or Resident Evil that were so puzzle heavy. The fact that they're all just action games, but they're really good games. I mean, as far as just going
Yeah.
through and being immersed in those worlds and seeing the upgrade in the graphics and everything. I mean, I had a lot of fun, especially playing Resident Evil 3. I mean, that was one of my favorite Resident Evils growing up. It's just
So how did you feel about Biohazard?
Oh, I love Biohazard, to be honest with
so. Resident
you.
Evil,
It just scared the hell out of me a couple times.
Resident Evil Biohazard has pissed me off to the point where the Village I will not play. The Village. I've been a Resident Evil fan from the very beginning, and I've loved every Resident Evil game that's come out, even the bad ones. And I cannot
You don't like the Village?
stand behind.
Stankin'.
I won't play the Village because of Biohazard. Biohazard pissed me off so fucking bad that it had an identity crisis of what it was supposed to be. It was trying to be so many games. It was like it started off Silent Hill, then it became The Evil Dead, and then it went back to Silent Hill, and then the last few levels, especially the last boss level, I thought I was playing the Sega Genesis. It was insane. It was just one of those things where it was just like, this is the worst piece of horse shit I have ever played in my life. And then I was like, so is the Village part of the main series, or is the Village part of this game? And she says, well, the Village is a sequel to this game. I will not play it. I will not play it.
I've seen through
could
some
suck
parts
my
of it.
dick.
There's some really well thought out characters. Like there's bits of it like Heisenberg that I really like, even though it's easy to just be like, from Breaking Bad, different Heisenberg. I'm not going to spoil it for you, just in case you ever change your mind on it.
Right.
But there's some really.
Did you play Biohazard?
I've not.
Okay.
I came into. I mean, I've never really been fully crazy about horror myself, but
Right.
Luna is.
Sure.
So sometimes I'll check it out, or sometimes I'll check something out, or I'll be the scout ahead guy. So that way, because there'll be some horror elements that she really likes, but if an animal dies, then it fucks up her whole week.
So yesterday they released Texas Chainsaw Massacre video game.
They made a game of it, so do you play as
the original family, the original 3 brothers? And so tomorrow is my last day of my vacation. I've got nothing to do, and it's going to be me and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
So do you get to play as the Sawyers, or do you get to play as the survivors?
You can play as a victim, or you can play as one of the Sawyers.
If you would like to watch that gameplay, I can send you the link to the Twitch channel.
But yeah, you can play as Leatherface, or the Hitcher, or the Cook. It's pretty rad.
Which one was the one that Arlie Ermy played?
That was the remake. This is based off the 70s.
Oh, like the old 70s one.
The old
school. My mistake. My mistake.
Yeah, the old school. And it looks so good. And it starts, like, I just started off to see how it opened. I didn't play it, but I started to see how it opened up, and it opens up just like the movie, the same type of fonts and everything. I mean, it just, they painstakingly made it look like, I didn't really care for the Friday the 13th one they did, but this looks good.
I'm glad that they actually remember. I'm glad that they did their homework. I appreciate it, I appreciate it when it doesn't matter what the genre is or for what art form it is, for music or film or video games or whatnot. I appreciate it when they do their homework, because because there's so many slapped together.
There's movies that
things.
are remakes of things that are only by name. Like they just they licensed the name, and it has nothing. The original, it has nothing to do character-wise, story-wise. It's just they pick out one thing from that. Let's say it's Michael Myers. They take Michael Myers, and then that's it. And I'm not gonna go on to that because that will start a war with people. But
or like in the spaghetti westerns, or like the spaghetti westerns where they'd have certain characters, and then they would try and tag a video or tag a movie in with that series. So, for example, Trinity with Terrence Hill and Bud Spencer, one of the big spaghetti westerns. And they would have, for every actual Trinity movie, they'd have these knockoffs from other studios where it'd be like Trinity versus Zatanna, or You Better Run, Here Comes Trinity, God Forgives, Trinity Doesn't. And it's like, and like that, where they're kind of taking a certain element, or just taking
a character,
or even just taking the title of something and slapping it on something that is entirely different.
What did everybody think about the new Evil Dead? Because I personally liked it. I liked it.
I really don't have much for it. I liked Army of Darkness.
This one they finally got out of the woods, and then Army of Darkness was a knockoff where he goes back in time, which was so great. I love them all, really, man. Even the remake, but I think the new one was pretty good. I like the whole the kids. You would think the way the kids are acting at first, like, oh, they're gonna figure out a way to get out of this. No, they're possessed by demons. You know what I mean?
That's your mom over there in the wood chipper kind of vibe.
Oh god, yeah. It's creepy. And the whole scene where she's outside in the hallway and she kills everybody that's left in the building. Oh man.
I thought it was cool as far as there being another, installment in the universe. I've never been a big Evil Dead fan.
It's a 2-time watch. Like I wouldn't find myself watching it 10 years from now.
Well, I watched it on bootleg, and then I watched it again when it was released, and it's just one of those things where it's just like, it's good that I saw it, but would I watch it again? Would I buy it? Probably
I'm not buying it.
Would I recommend it? Probably not. No.
Oh, I watched the shit out of Army of Darkness, but that's just I like movies like that.
It's a classic.
But I really don't have I don't really have an experience with the other films in the series to base that opinion off of.
Well, Evil Dead 2 is essentially a remake of Evil Dead 1. So it's saved for like the first 15 minutes, and then there's a point in the 15-minute mark where you're now being in the remake. It's just one of those things where they didn't have the license to use any of the footage, so they just reshot the first 15 minutes. So I don't know. It's just I've always liked the idea of the Evil Dead. I always liked the character of Ash with the chainsaw hand and toting a shotgun.
Yeah.
The first video game, Hail to the King, and you're playing as Ash in that world was actually pretty cool. I mean, I dug that.
And that was the one with Bruce Campbell in it, right?
Oh yeah.
Then you have oh shit, was it Drag Me to Hell? Drag Me to Hell was Evil Dead 4. I mean, it was done by Sam Raimi. It was done that same. It was done the same way. To me, it was Evil Dead 4. I mean, if you would have said that it took place.
Same guy that did Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's expanded beyond.
Yeah,
Evil Dead.
Yeah, Sam Raimi is.
I love the Spider-Man trilogy that he did.
That's the
I like
Spider-Man
the Evil
trilogy
Dead
I
TV
grew
show.
up
Did you
with.
guys see the Evil Dead TV
Oh god,
show?
yeah.
So
Maybe
I like
seasons,
that. I
right?
like that. Yeah. Well, it was supposed to go 4 seasons. You notice that it gets cut off abruptly at the very end, like they pulled the plug on it. But it was supposed to go one more season.
Man, I wish it could have won. I just like Bruce Campbell. It doesn't matter what character or name it is. It's Bruce fucking Campbell.
Yeah.
Bruce fucking Campbell.
It's
Some people have that staying power, like John Wayne
John
was like
Wayne
that
Wayne,
too,
man.
where you
You put him in a cowboy suit, put him on a horse.
it might
Let
be
him just ride, and Nate Lee's shooting a gun, and
It might
Speaking
be-
of
a
Campbell,
movie.
Did you ever see that Bruce Campbell TV show back in the day, the Adventures of Briscoe County?
Oh yeah,
Yep.
my
Yeah.
grandma actually liked that
No
show.
shit.
You know they used the
Because he was on something else too. Was he on like Dr. Quinn or something?
no, he was on Xena or
Xena,
Hercules
okay, that's
as
what it
as
was.
the merchant guy.
Yeah, he was on Xena and Hercules.
But here's a little
He did
fact.
tie-ins and stuff.
Here's a little factoid about Briscoe County Jr. They actually used the music from The Adventures of Briscoe County Jr. for the Olympics.
No shit.
Yeah, for one of the themes that they used for the Olympics is one of the themes from The Adventures of Briscoe County Jr.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And also, one of the actors on that one, John Aston, from my old neck of the woods up in Maryland, he pops on there. Same guy
The
that.
actor John Aston.
Yes, John Aston, as in Gomez Adams, John Aston.
Sean Aston.
No, John Aston,
Oh,
John.
the Gomez. Okay, I'm thinking.
The OG Gomez.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh shit.
All right.
Yeah, I noticed Crash walked. I was like, man, I'm
Time
gonna
for
let
me to
these old
reclaim
farts
my
talk.
seat.
What's our runtime?
An hour and 20 minutes.
Oh, well, that's great.
Oh yeah, we're just shooting the shit. Yeah.
I'm good for another 10.
If y'all are looking for the quarters game, let's see if I can make this. Shit.
Oh, for one.
Double shit.
And he lost the championship.
Damn.
He goes to me.
Chicago used to have a show, the Bozo Show, and they would have this. Little,
Oh yeah.
They would have. I think we got it back in the
Yeah,
day.
we even got WG.
But they had this. Do you remember the grand prize game where they had the buckets and they lit up and you took each
Yeah,
kid?
like Plinko.
Yeah, well, kind of like that.
You
But
had to
they,
throw it in the buckets.
yeah, so
I
you had
think
to
so.
make it, and like there was always that poor son of a bitch who couldn't make it into the first fucking bucket. That would always be like I always wanted to go as a kid to go on the Bozo Show, but like the grand prize game, like it always scared me because like I didn't have a father, I didn't have anybody that did it. I didn't want to be that poor schmuck that couldn't get it on the first bucket because you knew all these kids that couldn't get it on the first bucket. Those motherfuckers didn't have a father.
Good lord.
All right. So, hey, I appreciate anybody who's checking this out. We will have a drinking challenge. We were supposed to do, so we got away from doing drinking challenges last year. We decided to do roast battles. And, well, that went
That
bad.
almost ended in battle.
Like, it looks good on camera.
When that camera
But
cut,
for fuck's sake, everything that was going on behind, that was the show. Like, what you guys saw on camera for the roast battle.
was not the show.
that was not the show. The show was what was going on behind scenes.
I missed it all.
I'm staying out of that one. I don't know what I was doing at
That's
the
another
time,
show.
but
That's another show.
I've heard stories.
That's another show.
I don't know what I was doing at the time, but I was doing something else.
We decided that we weren't going to do roast battles this year, and we were going to try to do another drinking challenge. But we'll see how things go in the future. But anyway, we do our official return next week. We have the band Pull and 10 other comedians. It's going to be fucking insane. This next season, for the rest of the season, we have comedians for so many different areas, all the surrounding states, a little further than that. We've got some big names this season. It's going to be fucking crazy. So definitely stay tuned with us. But from Pig, CJ, and Crash, I am Reverend Muffington. This is Deliciously Nothing's wrap-up and preview.
Don't be an asshole.
Don't be an asshole.